Hey, what's good YouTube? Target here and welcome to another episode of Design and Manage, my City Skylines and Modded Let's Play series. On this episode we are going to work on this triangular shape that you see right in the middle of your screen, this empty white area, and we are going to turn it into a winter themed park. So let me just explain to you in a bit more detail what I have in mind for today. Okay, so as I've mentioned, I'm gonna turn this into a winter themed park because this is a snow map and we have a lot of snow buildings to place. Initially I had thought in turning this into a zoo, but because we are playing on a snow map and all of the animals that come with the zoo are African themed animals, that would not look that good. That would not make a lot of sense in this city. So I have decided to turn this into a winter themed park. Oh, and by the way, it seems that we need to do some work in this interchange because we are getting quite a few traffic problems, but that's material for another time. Regarding the buildings that I'm going to place here, I have already made a selection of the buildings that I want to place, and I've placed them right about over here in this little area. So we have the snowboard arena. Oh, by the way, and keep in mind, some of these buildings had to be unlocked, and I had to do quite a few things to unlock them, and I'll show that to you in about a few seconds. But first and foremost, let me just show you the buildings. We have the winter market, the sleigh ride, the Christmas tree, the Igloo Hotel. We have the Santa Claus workshop. We have a casino that I had to unlock as well, but I don't think I'm gonna place it in the winter themed park. I think I'm gonna place this into the leisure island. And finally we have the ice fishing pond. So before I even do anything, I believe it's a good idea for you guys to see what I had to go through to unlock all of these buildings. I might even put in the screen the list of things that I had to do to unlock each and every single one of these buildings. And I am going to show you in a time lapse what I had to do to get them. So I'll meet you guys in a second. Alright guys, so you've seen the amount of work that I had to unlock these buildings, zoning and unzoning all of those commercial buildings. It took quite a bit of time to get it done, but now we have all the buildings unlocked, all the winter themed buildings. The only one that I'm missing is this one, the ski resort that requires me to fill one snow dump. I might work on this a bit later, but for now I am just going to place these ones. So before we even start doing anything, I want to place this casino on the leisure island, and I want to switch it with this one, the Snow Castle restaurant. I think I'm going to remove the Snow Castle restaurant from here and put it on the winter themed park that we are about to build, and I am going to put the casino in this location. I think it fits this area much better. So let's just work on that. Let's grab this thing. Let's just put it here. Now let's try and put the casino at location, and hopefully they have the same size. Yeah, look at that. So let's just put it there. Now we have a coastal casino. And I believe I messed up quite a few things. Yeah, just the fence over here. So let me just rebuild that in a minute. Okay, pretty cool. Now we can enable the casino. This area is now fortified with more leisure. It seems that these buildings didn't like the casino here, but that's what they will have. Now, moving on to this location, we can start planning out how we are going to have the buildings here, and for that I think we should start with a road layout. So let's start with a road here. Let's go by 11 blocks. That's usually the length that I go. Let's also make some roads wrapping around the highway. So let's make it go all the way over here. I will have to delete this pathway tunnel. Hopefully we won't forget to build it again. Same thing right here. Perfect. Let's make a 45-degree angle turnaround just to work on this corner. Okay, I like it. Okay, let's move on and connect everything. Let's go and make a circular shape here. Okay, and I think I'll have this at a straight angle. Now let's connect this part. Perfect. Now let's smooth up these little corners. So let's make a guide here, another guide here, another one here, here, and I also think I'm gonna keep this as a straight corner. So let's just rework on these angular roads and connect them like so. Okay, pretty cool. Now let's make another layer on the inside of this layout. One road here, let's make it go all the way over here. Okay, pretty cool. Now let's just keep going and make a connection here. And perhaps we can continue this road all the way here and connect it here, and the same thing with this road as well. Okay, we now have a good basis for a layout. Let's try and grab a few buildings and see how well they fit here. Let's see, what is the largest building that we have? It's probably this one that we have just salvaged from the Leisure Island. Let's see if it fits anywhere in this place. Well, we have this central location, but we have a problem with this layout here because it's not that big and it doesn't allow for the fitting of a lot of buildings. How about this thing, the snowboard arena? Yeah, it seems that we should work a bit on this layout, perhaps leave a wider gap between blocks. So let me just try that out. Let me delete this area. Let's just grab one of the buildings. Let's put the snowboard arena here and let's see how wide must the gap be for this to fit perfectly. So it has to be about 13 blocks. Okay, so we can do that. Let me just disable this for the time being and let's rebuild this entire thing by leaving 13 blocks. Okay, it's going pretty good. Now we just have to connect these things together. And finally round up these corners. Okay, like this. Perfect. Let's now delete that gap. I believe we now have enough space to start placing some buildings here. So let's just bring them over from the other side. So let's start with the winter market. And for the buildings that are even bigger than this 13 block gap, we can simply delete this little road and adapt the terrain. So let's bring it all the way here. Okay, let's go grab another one. Now the Christmas tree. This can be a good central location for the winter themed park. And finally we have the Snow Castle restaurant. So let's put it here. And I know it's very disorganized, but we can now find suitable locations for each and every single one of these buildings. Right now I just want to delete this temporary road that I used to place the buildings. And yeah, we can start working on this layout and work on the distribution of buildings. So let's see, where do I want to put every single one of these? We can put the snowboard arena right in this little corner. I believe that's a good place for it. You know what, these tall buildings can be pretty much enclosed with roads. I think that will look better. So let's make a road here. Bring this thing all the way over here. And make another road here. Okay. The Christmas tree, as I've said, should be a central piece. So let's place it here. And I wonder, perhaps I can adapt this little layout a bit better so that I can put a few rows here. So let's just delete these corners. Okay, put a few rows here. And rebuild the roads. Okay, and perhaps we can make the roads to a curvy shape, not a curvy shape, but a diagonal shape. And this is where the Christmas tree can be. Pretty cool, I like it. The Snow Castle restaurant can be here, as well as the Igloo Hotel. Actually, let me try and do this a bit better. The Igloo Hotel perhaps can temporarily come here, as well as the Snow Castle restaurant. And I want to, I don't know, I think this thing will look very good in the middle. So let's put it there. But for that I need to readjust this layout. Let's start by deleting these roads. You see how hard it is to centralize the Igloo Hotel. No matter how hard I try, it cannot be central with the Christmas tree, but this one, the Snow Castle restaurant, can. See, this is perfectly well centered, so let's put this in the middle instead. And now let's draw a road. Let's delete these little roads. Now let's make them connect to this one that I have already drawn to outline the snowboard arena. First I need to find a symmetrical place in this side. So if I draw a straight line here, we can see that it's going to be right about over here. So let's draw an outline. Let's connect it here. Perfect. And how perhaps we can smooth the little corners. And let's work it. Pretty cool. Perfect. Okay, so now we can place the remainder of the buildings. I want the winter market perhaps in the middle. So let's place it right here. Okay, pretty cool. And it's also very central, which is always a great thing. I want to continue this road to the other end. So let's make a bit of room. The Igloo Hotel can be fit in either location. I think I'm gonna put it here. In fact, I think I wanna pair the Igloo Hotel with the Ice Fishing Pond, so let's just switch the location of these two types of building. Let's put this one here. Let's also realign this one. And let's put the Santa Claus workshop right about, right next to the snowboard arena. And now this thing, this slate ride, I don't know, I do not want to place it right here when it's the only building that fits here. So perhaps we can delete this end of the layout and put it right here, if we can find a good place to fit it. Or maybe here, why not? Look at that. Great fit. And let's do the same with this segment. Let's delete this little road. Okay. And now let's make another road wrapping around the winter market. So let's make a central road that goes all the way over here and wraps around the market, connecting back to this location. And of course I'm having a bit of trouble connecting as usual. Let's try and do this a bit different. Let's connect to the end of this thing. Okay, now it's central. Now we can wrap it around without having to worry too much about this. So yeah, there you go, perfect. Alright, perfect, and I believe that's it for the placement of our unique buildings. Another thing that I think I'm gonna do is add a bit more roads to maximize the zoning space here, because we are going to fill this space with commercial buildings. Perhaps we can make a road going all the way here and make it wrap over here perhaps. Let's make this a bit more symmetrical. Let's go by 600. There we go, cost of 600, and let's wrap it back. Now let's just round the corners. Okay, perfect. I believe that's going to be more than enough. Let's also delete these overpasses that I had over here. Perhaps they are not going to be used after all. Let's see how the traffic will develop in this location. Regarding electricity, this area should connect better. So let's try and find a good or a better solution. Perhaps we can connect it directly to here. Okay, now this is pretty much unnecessary. And we cannot forget about the pathway network. We need to connect this thing to our existing pathway network. We have this little, not little, but this elevated pathway that should connect here, and we also have a tunnel pathway that I have deleted and should reconnect here. So yeah, let's work on this. We can start by making a pathway network on either side of the Snowcastle restaurant. So let's make one here and another one there. Cool. And now let's connect it to this underpass. Perfect, and now let's just connect it. Okay, that's not bad. I don't mind that at all. And now let's connect it with this one. And this is going to be a bit more challenging because I don't know what to do with this. Let's try moving this to the ground floor and make it come behind the avenue, or at least between the avenue and also the highway. So let's try and do that. Okay, so far so good. Now let's make a little connector here. And let's make it go back down. Perhaps all the way over here. Perfect. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We can also take advantage of this thing to connect to this road as well. So how about this? Okay, not bad. And okay, yes, I think that's pretty cool. Now let's continue the pathway and make it connect to this area. Oh, and by the way, we can enable these buildings already because they are already at their final destination and they're connected with power. So let's enable every single one of them. As for the pathway, I think we can make a pretty close pathway to the slate ride. Perhaps this is even way too close. Or maybe not. Oh, look at this. How cute is that? Very cute. But yeah, I believe this is close, not that close. So let's make it connect all the way over here. And also over here as well. Now finally we just have to connect this. Let's just pause the game because I'm going to destroy the power line temporarily. And now let's make it curve in this area. Okay, pretty cool. Let's reconnect this thing back again. I also want to make some pathways that go around this entire area. Like this. And the same thing on the other side. And finally, let's make some easy crossings so that people can cross from one way to the other. So one over there. And the same thing on this side. This is not 100% symmetrical because this area does kind of a curve and that influenced the entire layout, but that's what we have to deal with. So yeah. Finally, there's one final thing that we should do, and that is continue this tram line. So this area has been in pretty much a hiatus for a long while. I had the tram line end in this little loop for quite a long time, and I believe it's finally time for us to finalize the tram line once and for all. So let's go to the tram tab. Where is it? Okay, and let's continue this road all the way, perhaps all the way over here. And now we can make it go around behind the hotel and stop by the Christmas market or the winter market and wrap it here. Now regarding the stops, we can put a stop here, another stop here, another one here, and yeah, I believe this area is now complete. So now we just need to delete this little thing. Pretty cool. And now we can, oh, and by the way, before we zone everything with commercial buildings, there are still some other things that we can do regarding leisure. We have the normal parks. So as you can see, we have a lot of winter parks that we can place. We have this curling park that I have been placing quite a few times in my Let's Play series. So perhaps we can put it right next to the winter market. I believe that's a fairly good location for it. Let's place it right here. Okay. We also have a skating ring, for example, that we can pretty much fit here. Okay. Oh, and by the way, let me just modify this little road a bit better. Perhaps let's make it into a 2-lane highway and see if traffic is better distributed here. Perhaps not, but let's try it. Let's see if that helps the situation a bit. And I don't know, probably not, but we'll keep it for now. By the way, we were messing up with parks. Let's see what else we have. We have this fire pit park, which I believe can be put here. Also, you know what? Let's place this somewhere else, because we also have this thing, the cross-country skiing park, which I believe I already put in my town, but I want to put it again. So let's place it, I don't know, how about here? And now we can put the ski lodge right here. Let's try and organize this thing a bit better. Yeah, I believe this is much better. Yeah, perfect. We also have this sledding hill, which could be put here, but no, it's not that big, so let's place it here. Okay, and how about a couple of ice sculpture parks right about here at the entrance of the winter market? Perfect, I like it. Okay guys, so now we can start with zoning, and I believe I am, well, the district is already drawn. I had to draw it to place all of those commercial buildings and unlock all of those unique buildings. I think the commercial buildings that I want to place here are going to be leisure, so let's turn this into a leisure specialization, and now let's zone everything. So yeah, let's start with this area. and we can pretty much zone everything. These little blocks around the unique buildings as well. Okay, now let's watch everything develop. But we gotta leave it to the next episode because we are out of time. That's gonna be it for today. We have managed to complete the entire winter-themed park, or at least we have built the basic structure of it, and we are now one step closer to ending up this city. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to get notified every time I post a new City Skylines video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and as always, have fun!